The 2022 Beijing Olympics, the stage that represents the lifelong dream of countless athletes. Yet, from that very stage, at only 16 years old, came the announcement of her retirement. The news sent shockwaves through the world. At such a young age, with such a brilliant future ahead, everyone asked, why? It was only later, when her father, Alysa Liu, revealed that Alysa was battling PTSD and deep emotional trauma, that the world began to see the story in a different light. What appeared from the outside as the glitz of success, the roar of applause, and the glimmer of medals, was on the inside a silent war. Skating, which was once her joy, her dream, and her very identity, had gradually turned into an invisible burden. Every practice, every routine, every jump was no longer an excitement, it was a suppressed panic. She reached a point where she didn't even want to look at the ice rink, a detail that truly breaks the heart. The very ice where she built her dreams had become the source of her fear. The vast white expanse of the rink likely reminded her of nothing but pressure, expectations, judgment, and the paralyzing fear of failure. PTSD isn't just a memory of a battlefield. It can be born from extreme pressure, long-term mental exhaustion, and the crushing weight of expectations, both self-imposed and external. When the hopes of an entire nation, the relentless gaze of the media, and the constant demand for perfection are placed on the shoulders of a teenage girl, that weight often becomes heavier than the dream itself. Alysa's retirement was more than just sports news. It was a brave decision by a young woman to stand up for her own mental health. It was an attempt to walk away from the stage of applause to find the silence within. Just moments before ascending the grand stage of the 2022 Beijing Olympics, when a teenage athlete should have been focused solely on practice and performance, Alysa and her father faced a strange and alarming situation. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, they were being targeted by spies hired by the Chinese government. This wasn't just a rumor or suspicion. A person even posed as an Olympic official in an attempt to collect their passport numbers. Imagine a 16-year-old girl facing the biggest competition of her life, and instead of jumps and scores, her mind is filled with shadows of insecurity, suspicion, and unknown threats. If the Olympic Village, meant to be a sanctuary of dreams, becomes a place of distrust and surveillance, the mental strain is unimaginable. Driven by the dream of elite training, Alysa was sent to Colorado Springs, one step closer to Olympic glory. From the outside, it was a proud milestone, but inside that decision lay the silent loneliness of a teenager. At only 16, she was in a new city, far from family, siblings, and everything familiar. Days filled with grueling practice, a coach's commands, and the relentless drive for perfection. And at night, perhaps a silent room where there was no applause, only the sound of her own breath and muffled tears. In a recent interview, her father's confession, "I made a mistake sending her alone there," holds a world of regret. A father thought he was bringing his daughter closer to her dream, never realizing when that dream had turned into a suffocating burden. Alysa's story is more than just an athlete's tale. It's a story of the conflict between one generation's dreams and another's fears. Her father was a political refugee. His memories of uncertainty and the struggle for survival taught him one thing: there is no safety without discipline, and no success without hardness. He wanted his daughter to be impossibly disciplined so that no opportunity was lost and no room was left for failure. But within that desire, a child's childhood began to fade. Since the age of 5, she had to stand on the ice in the pre-dawn darkness. While other children were tucked under blankets or playing after school, Alysa was learning the perfect spin, the perfect landing. The laughter of the playground, the carefree chats with friends, these were rarities in her life. Skating was no longer a game, it was a responsibility. Every morning was a reminder, you must be the best. When joy is replaced by duty at such a tender age, the soul grows weary. The world sees the talent, the medals, and the potential, but inside, an invisible pressure mounts. I have to make it. I can't stop. I'm not allowed to be tired. In Alyssa's own admission that skating was no longer fun but a chore lies the exhaustion of years of suppressed emotion. A father wanted the best future for his daughter, but sometimes excessive protection and rigid discipline accidentally extinguish the natural light of childhood. This is perhaps the tragedy of Alysa Liu. She stood on the world stage, but she did so while slowly losing the little child within herself. Alysa proved that no medal is more valuable than your own peace of mind. She chose herself over the applause of the world, a decision that requires more courage than any Olympic jump. But what do you think? Was her father's impossible discipline the key to her success or the reason for her breakdown? And could you have walked away from global fame at just 16? If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Every soul has a hidden struggle, and we are here to tell those untold stories. Hit that subscribe button and join our community to explore the deep, emotional journeys of the icons you thought you knew. Give this video a thumbs up if you believe mental health should always come first. See you in the next story.